Talking about an interesting white paper today that really discusses this probability-based versus a safety-first approach. And what we're learning through the academic study, which I will send to you, I'll send you the link, just go to raylucia.com. You want to read this because it will show you that your financial advisor's probably doing your retirement planning wrong. Or if you're doing it yourself, there's almost no doubt that you are doing it wrong. And I explain how a 35-year-old would end up with significantly more income, like 40-50% more income in retirement. And if they died at age 100, significantly more legacy wealth. Well, a 50-year-old, it's even more dramatic. A 50-year-old going through this concept of having, if you can believe this, a whole life insurance policy and a single life annuity attached to a 401k plan. And this particular 50-year-old in this example had an assumed $600 and some odd thousand saved up, was contributing $32,000 a year to retirement accounts and so forth. And what we found in the study, the final analysis, was this: the distribution of income at age 65 was 45% greater than just doing the probability-based stocks, bonds, and cash. I mean, it was 95 grand compared to 65 grand. 45% more money to spend. Oh, but if the person died at age 66, well, the beneficiaries would only get $1,561,000 compared to $1,866,000, or a minus 16%. So the heirs got screwed. Well, wait a minute, most people don't die at 66. If this person made it to age 100, it's $1,460,000 compared to $265,000, 451% more legacy assets. And this is why the academics are saying, you know what? It's time to rethink your retirement strategy. Someone that knows a lot about this, Gene Pastula. I know there's a lot of numbers I was throwing out there, Gene, and numbers confuse you. I get that.
Yeah.
But can you cut to the chase for everybody on this?
Yeah, actually, the one thing that when I'm listening to that, the thing that, because obviously, particularly every time you're involved with the 401k or the IRA and the stocks and bonds and all the rest of the stuff, there's constant uncertainty going on. I mean, you're living in a world of additional stress, particularly, sometimes not. Sometimes, you're on a roll for several years, the economy's going good and you're very confident. Right now, the stress level of most of those people is starting to rise.
Mine's pretty high.
Yeah. So when you also throw in that factor into the mix of analyzing all those various options, that not only, first of all, what would you call them, probability-based? The probability-based things has to perform, and there's nobody there seeing to it that it does, that can guarantee that it is going to perform.
Yeah, they're using historical performance to try to predict what's going to happen in the future.
But when you have those insurances in there, and there's an unlimited combination that you can do, obviously to meet your specific thing. But when you have those insurance strategies incorporated in there, and those are more predictable, and some of them are absolutely predictable because they're guaranteed by the institution. So there's no question the amount of value that you can get out of the insurance if you get your mind out of the fact that the insurance companies are there to get as much from you as possible or anything else, because it's math and science, and they have the math. They understand the math, whether you live too long or die too soon. So they just crank those in, and the calculations are done, and they get they know they're going to get a certain value to do their business and pay their bills and make a profit, and they're offering you the result. And if that's if that looks good, which when you set it up next to, in a scenario like you did, more often than not, it's gonna show the right thing. The problem with it is that for some reason, people will put $15,000 a year into their 401k, and they're not, it's going to grow, and, for their retirement and everything else. And they never think about, getting it back. When they buy a whole life policy, or send money to an insurance company, part of their equation is always, what am I going to get back, and when am I going to, can I get it back? And I'm paying for this, the money's gone until 40 years out, and all of a sudden there's this big concern about
it's a bill.
Yeah, it's a bill, and I'm paying this, and the money's gone, and it's out of my control. They don't do that with a 401k. Yet, if they have the same inclination to use that money that's in a 401k or a IRA, they're going to destroy it. So it's designed to be a permanent, long-term thing with a result starting at age retirement, and so is the insurance in those scenarios. So. We do now the Roth IRA alternatives using insurance. And inside the insurance contract, there's very sophisticated ways of getting very competitive and impressive returns inside the contract with minimal or zero risk, because of the way the insurance company can invest their money and credit you in the same time. For example, that you can get rates of return inside these contracts that mirror the result of the S&P up to certain amounts, up to 10% or 12%. If the S&P does 18, you're stuck with 12. Oh well, But if the S&P goes down, you don't lose, you stay there. So when you start doing that and you take volatility out of the program, which I don't know, I doubt that they got that involved in those studies.
Well, and as part of the systematic withdrawal, they have to take the sequence risk into account. So you don't have to worry about that with the annuitization one, but
with the insurance one, because the volatility is not going to change is not going to take away more of the value that you're using for the withdrawals. So, and then you can add the feature, which always comes to my mind, because I'm immersed in it daily in my business, is the people that are going to need money to pay for their care, and that's becoming a huge part of retirement planning. Because obviously we're not all going to live to 100. I was thinking when you said that about what the legacy was at 100. Yeah, their kids are all dead because they died at 79.
But people are living longer, and so you have to start thinking about that.
Exactly.
In fact, if we have time, I want to talk to you about an article that I read about a life insurance policy at age 100. Maybe you can stick around for a part of the Q&A, and I can go over that with you.
Sure.
But finish your thoughts, because I know at your age it starts to slip.
Yeah, what was I talking about?
That's my point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my point is that when you're doing retirement planning, you should incorporate as much predictability into your strategy as you possibly can, especially when it should be there when you're in your 50s, 55, 60s, 65. If I'm a 62-year-old person planning on retiring in a couple years, and I have $500,000 in my 401k invested in the stock market, and I'm reading anything about economics right now and finance, and I'm thinking, let's see, 10 years ago or 9 years ago, everybody lost 40%. In their 401ks because of the crash. And now you see headlines that say, the next one will be the worst ever.
Yeah,
I don't know about that. But the point is that I want to know, I'd like to know at least part of the money is in a place where I don't have to worry about that. And I know what's going to happen.
Like a true safety first kind of guy. Me
too. Just like an insurance man.
Just like an insurance man. Well, yeah, but again, what we're learning from this white paper and I will send you the link. I want you to read it because it will help you in planning whether you have a financial advisor or not.
And I can send one that's a little easier to read that would, on top of that, would really make it clear.
There you go. So you get 2 white papers for the price of nothing by going to safemoneymonitor.com, 800-809-6783 for Mr. Pastula, safemoneymonitor.com. Tell him you want both white papers or email me and I'll send you both because we're buddies and I can get one from him. He'll only charge me half price. Gino, can you stick around for just one more minute or not?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, it's more than 1 minute, but
Yeah, okay.
I got to ask you about this age 100 thing. Don't go away, folks.